Oh my goodness. Hello there. I'm here. James, you're still muted. They don't hear you. So don't woo. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to my cooking show, Rudy's Cooking Show. What a title. This is a show I'm going to be doing every Wednesday from now until I decide to stop. Every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I'm going to bring a guest on and I'm going to cook something special to them and never stop. And I'm going to talk about food with them. Talk about some of their favorite foods, talk about some of my favorite foods, talk about what we're cooking and why it's special to them. Just a general fun conversation about food because that is truly one of my passions. Hooray! So, who else to have as your first guest but the legend himself, James Introcaso? Hello, James. How are you? Yay!
Hey, Rudy. I'm great. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited about what we're cooking today. Well, what you're cooking, what I will be
Yeah.
watching you cook. I hope you enjoy
Yes.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
this is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for
I'm very
having me.
excited. Thank you, James. So let's talk about that thing that we'll be cooking today.
Mm.
Um, Carbonara.
Yeah.
Rigatoni carbonara, more specifically.
Yes.
Not the classic spaghetti carbonara that you may or may not know. And what's more, it's Italian carbonara, not the American version of carbonara. Yes?
Yes. Get peas out of here. They do not
Get
belong
peas,
in
get the peas
carbonara.
and the heavy cream out of here. What are you doing, America? So we're not doing that. It's one of those, like, in true Italian fashion, incredibly simple, just like strong, bold, clean flavors, not complicated whatsoever, like really straightforward, easy to cook, just a lot of sharp flavors coming together to make something really, really delicious and really, really special. So tell me where you had this initially and what you were doing to, to have this.
So I was in Rome on my honeymoon. It's the only time I've ever been to Italy,
Oh.
and it was very very blessed. And there was this restaurant that my wife Bonnie found, um, and it's so there's like this section of Rome, this neighborhood in Rome that has a hill in it that is not one of like the hills of Rome.
Hmm.
It's a trash hill. It is a
Oh,
bunch
trash
of
hill.
people would throw like their ancient pots away, and it built up this
Oh.
big hill. And these ancient pots then like grass grew over them and dirt and stuff like that. And so the restaurant is built into the side of the hill, and it's called uh,
Whoa.
yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And when you go in, they actually have a one of the walls has glass so that you can see the layers of broken pots when you walk into the
Whoa.
restaurant. Yeah, it's like a little archaeological dig right there. And the name of the restaurant, which I am about to butcher, is Flavio Al Vella Odettos. Uh, and
No, that's
they
right.
are
That's like a true native Roman would say. That's what they sound like too.
That's exactly how they sound. Um, and uh, and they're known for their carbonara. And so we went to have the rigatoni carbonara there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what they're known for, then that's what you gotta have. I feel like that way with every restaurant. Like, don't be afraid to ask your server, "What's good here?" Like, that's their job is to make sure you eat something delicious, so you can tip them more. But let's talk about the pasta shape in particular that we're using today
Hmm.
because it's not it's rigatoni, which these are actually mezzi rigatoni, which is like medium size. This is Barilla. Uh, this is the El Bronzo
Ooh.
Barilla, which is their fancy fancy line of pastas. But
Oh
if
my.
and I'll hold it up to the camera here. I don't know if you can kind of see it against. Yeah, it's got ridges and it's like a thicker tube. It's like a thick tube,
Yes.
and that means it's really, really good at retaining sauce. Often
Yes.
it's like rigatoni bolognese, which is a a thick meat sauce. But when I saw you tell me that there's like a rigatoni carbonara, it made total sense to me. Like spaghetti's good, spaghetti's fine,
Oh yeah.
spaghetti's classic, but a pasta shape that particularly picks up sauce is perfect for this.
Yes.
It's a very meaty, very salty. I keep stepping out of frame. It's a very meaty, very salty sauce, and it works well with the big rigatoni shape. What
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
please tell me about the rigatoni. Like, did it taste like the best pasta you ever had? Not the whole thing, but the pasta in particular. How was that?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Honestly, I felt like I really learned what al dente meant in Italy, right?
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay.
and that is to say that I think before I had gone to Italy, I was like, oh, I've been cooking pasta, like overcooking pasta, my entire life, and only eating overcooked pasta my entire life. And I think obviously they make a lot of fresh pasta, but they have a lot of dried pasta too,
Sure, yeah.
and I think it's all about like not being afraid to have that chewier consistency really
Yes.
makes your pasta so much more flavorful. Um,
Yes. Yeah, al
and
dente means to the tooth in Italian, or of the tooth, so it
yes,
should have that bite. It should have some chew to it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's definitely like rigatoni because it's a bigger pasta. I think was the first time that I really experienced that in Italy. That when I bit into this rigatoni, right,
Ooh.
I was like, oh, right, like a big light bulb went off in my brain. And I am an Italian American. My grandmother, my mother, various other aunts and things in my life, right, have all cooked pasta for me. So this is not a slight on them. They make very good sauces. But it was like, oh, okay, I get it. You should really not be afraid to take your pasta out a little earlier. Um,
And
because it
especially
can be
this
fermented.
dish, because we're going to cook our pasta, but then we're going to cook it more in the sauce. We're going to add
Yes.
our pasta to the sauce. And when we do that, it keeps cooking, it keeps going. So you should like doubly, not doubly undercook, but you should absolutely make sure you hit. I mean, most of these boxes say like what 15 minutes
Yeah.
for authentic al dente. So I might even do like 13 or 12 for this, and I'll taste it. But let me start off by getting my Dutch oven going because this is going to take
Oh,
a while
nice.
to boil. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Dutch oven pasta. I don't know when you make
Yes.
pasta if that's what you do, but
I no, I this is I would like to know the secrets. Why do you prefer the Dutch of? Because
oh,
we
I
have
mean,
a Dutch of.
I think it retains heat really well. I think
Mhm.
it's easy to clean. I think I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm looking for a reason to use it always. I'm a big fan of the Dutch oven in general. So if Dutch oven can do pasta, then do pasta it shall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Danny. Danny also making note that Dutch oven seems like a good idea. Yeah, I'm a big fan. So but yeah, let's so I'm gonna get started here. The other like secret ingredient, I guess, the secret Italian ingredient
Yes.
of carbonara is it's a type of smoked ham product called guanciale, and I have a chunk of it
Yes.
here. You can use bacon, you can use pancetta, which is also kind of like an Italian bacon. Guanciale is actually from the jowl of the pig. Yes, the pig
Yes.
jowl. I'm salting my water. I'm kind of off camera now, but I'm just going to start this on high, get this boiling, because that's going to take a while, because the Dutch oven is big.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so I was lucky. I was in Philadelphia recently visiting someone, and there's a really cool Italian market called Di Bruno Bros. Di Bruno
Yes.
Bros. I don't know if you're
We have a tote
familiar.
bag from there, Rudy. We have a tote
Oh,
bag.
nice. Of course you do. But they have guanciale. They have pecorino romano. Well,
Mhm.
they have a cheese section with a cheesemonger. They have like 6 different kinds of pecorino. So I was like, I'm making carbonara. Which is the best for that? And she had a wonderful recommendation. And I have some very cool pecorino here. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
great.
start. So James, you have the recipe in front of you from the restaurant itself. So I'm sure
Yes.
I'll do just as good a job as them. Let me get this in
Yes,
right here.
yeah. So they're so known for this, and they put the recipe on their website, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Um, and so yeah, so the first thing you're gonna do is cut that guanciale into small pieces and fry it in a pan.
yeah. So we're doing like lardons, I think, not super small pieces, like a large dice, or what do you think?
Yeah,
Large dice, small dice?
that sounds about right to me. So I've made this a couple of times, and yeah, I don't think you need to make it a super small, right? If you can get it on a fork, that's great.
Yeah, we got a lot of fat here. You can see just tons of fat around the edges here. Some
Hmm.
meat in the middle, but this is fatty, and it's covered in spices and like black pepper. It smells very nice. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. I'm using my utility knife. I think this is what they call this. It's not a chef's knife. It's much smaller. I really like using this for most of my knife work in the kitchen.
Oh,
Unless I'm
cool.
chopping something really big, like a roast or like cabbage, I like to use
Hmm.
this. I feel like it gives me more precision. So,
Oh
ooh,
yeah.
this
About how
is
big is that?
7 inches, maybe seven.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that looks. Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
have a knife like that. That's great.
yeah. Oh man, maybe a Christmas gift for James. This is from Mizzen as well. Wow, this is kind of hard to cut actually because it's so fatty, and so
Yeah,
kind of. Oh wow, yeah, it's like all fat. Man, this is gonna be a rich sauce.
it is going to be a rich sauce. Yeah, for sure. It's and you know, on top of that, it's 4 eggs go in the sauce, so
Yes.
it gets very rich very quickly for sure.
Yeah.
Um, it's this is so one of the things that happens when you go out to eat in Italy is that they put things on the menu as like pasta courses, what they call primi, meaning
Yes,
first,
first. Yep.
and then they'll have like meat courses, like a veal or whatever as
Secondi. Yeah.
secundi.
Carne. Yeah. Or carne. Yeah.
Um,
Secondi.
and I think I think the idea, right, is that people will take their time eating, and maybe over the course of several hours,
Oh
you'll have
yeah.
one thing and then order another, um, and but if you are a uneducated American and you're like, this is amazing. I'm expected to eat pasta and a meat course, and you will find yourself getting very full very quickly.
Yeah.
uh, and I quickly learned that I was like, oh, unless I'm going to sit here for like 4 hours, I should really just do one of these and not both.
Yes. So I have also been to Italy, and yes, every meal comes with pasta. I feel like.
Yeah.
But traditionally, the Italian lunch, the pranzo, was
Ooh.
the which means lunch in Italian. That was like the main meal of the day, and it was over the course of hours. And it would be several courses. There'd be a fish course. There'd be yeah, a meat course. There'd be yeah, it would be a whole ordeal for the whole family.
That's
Obviously, in
great.
modern times, we can't do that anymore. You know,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
go go go, James. It's the 2020s. But yeah, lunch would be the main thing they'd eat, and then dinner would be like a small snack. It would be like olives and nuts or things like that. It would be much less significant.
Wild.
Which yeah, I know, and interesting. I would love to have a
Yeah.
large multi-course lunch over
Lunch.
the over hours of the day and just spend time with family and chat and discuss the things happening in the world. That'd be
Yeah, that
great.
would be lovely. Lovely. The other thing that happens now too is that like for my American sensibilities, it is about 7 o'clock here on the East Coast, right? And I ate dinner before I came here, so that I wouldn't devour the computer screen watching you do this. Um, but they, like dinner starts around 8 o'clock,
Yes.
and sometimes
Yeah.
later. And
Yeah.
and if you were showing up to a restaurant at 6, the way we were sometimes, they would be like, "Oh, Americans, cool. We don't open for another hour, right? Like
Oh my
we
goodness.
closed between lunch and dinner, and we're not gonna be opening up for a little bit." And it's like, "Oh no,
Wow.
please. I guess I'll go eat more gelato." While I wait.
That's never a bad thing. Bonnie is in chat. Your wife, your lovely wife, Bonnie.
Oh, hello.
We have never been able to find guanciale in the States that compared to that which we ate in Rome. It is always so much more fatty here. I don't know why. And this is something you mentioned, James, before we started.
Yeah.
You said it was like really the meat was very lean and it was not super fatty. It was almost like what salt pork I think you compared it to, which is
Yes.
a cured kind of bacon, but more lean. Please tell me more.
More lean. Yeah, it was I mean it was definitely fatty, right? Like
Sure.
there wasn't devoid of fat, but yeah, I mean it was
This
far
thing is
more
like.
yeah, it had far more meat than fat when we
I
ate
mean,
it. And it was
I've chopped this up. You can see all the streaks of white. That's all fat, 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 fat.
yeah,
So this is really substantially fatty,
it is.
which is
It's gonna be delicious.
fine. Yeah, it's gonna be delicious. So the other thing about this recipe is that you sent it to me. I didn't read it too closely. I assume because guanciale is so salty that it was only like half a pound or whatever. So I didn't buy a lot. It was also very expensive. It was $23 a pound.
Yeah. It's an expensive thing, especially if you're at
Yes.
where
Di
you work,
Bruno?
the Brunos.
Yeah, Di
Yeah.
Bruno's is pretty expensive. But I picked up some diced pancetta to go with it. So
Yes.
I'm going to kind of eyeball this. I don't know how much of each I want to use. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I'm going to grate, while my pasta still comes to a boil, I'm going to grate the cheese that is the other essential part of this dish, which is
Yes.
Pecorino Romano, cousin to Parmigiano Reggiano. Yeah?
That's right.
And the main difference is it's a lot saltier, I think, Pecorino. It's
Yes.
a little funkier, I would say, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's got
Yeah.
a little more cheese taste, right?
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Like it's more cheesy. And
Yeah.
everyone always says that Parmesan is like one of the pillars of umami. That savory kind of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I think pecorino is definitely so. You get out of here. It's more salty. It's more
Yes.
salty than umami. Like you take a bite of this and you're like, whoa, that's a salty boy. We also got some eggs. On
Yes,
into this.
I think that is definitely true, which explains why it is one of my wife's favorite cheeses.
Oh
Because
really?
oh yeah, she loves salt in all of its forms. And so even like before, when we first started dating, she always had this kind of cheese in her refrigerator and stuff. Because she likes to put it on things. So, and it's great. I mean, I love it too. It is a very
Yeah.
delicious.
It's definitely
kind
one of
of cheese.
those like topping cheese. Like you're not gonna cut a block off of this and just like snack on it. At least I don't think so. It's really
Yeah.
intense. I think it really needs to be paired with something.
Yeah, I
But it's
totally
good. I
agree.
like it. And this is definitely some nicer pecorino. But while I'm doing this, let's talk about you, James, and your food history.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you and I met in college doing
Yes, we did.
theater together. Yeah. Let's talk about college food, which is something I haven't done with any of my previous guests.
From the height of
Yeah.
culinary experience.
Yes. It's like after
to-
college, food is all downhill.
Yeah.
You have the best in college, and after that, it's just you're trying to reach those heights again.
Yeah, you're just like, how can I recreate the dorm room pizza that I got? Yeah, no, I mean it's funny. So the place where we went to college had several different on-campus dining halls. But they were all serviced by Sodexo. Which
Sodexo, yes.
yeah, that's they're a company that
They're
they
like a
service.
large scale catering. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, yeah, I know that they do a lot of work in prisons as well as colleges.
Yeah, prisons, corporate cafeterias, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
it's all different levels of quality.
Yes,
So
yeah. We were not eating
it,
prison food at the
right,
college.
exactly. but it's and there are things about college that I look back very fondly on. I remember loving, in particular, every Wednesday in the student center was buffalo chicken sandwich day. And it was just
Oh.
chicken fingers, and you put on your own buffalo sauce and your own blue cheese on a roll, and it was fantastic, right? But mostly because it was fried food and you were controlling the amount of sauce, which as a college student was very generous, as I recall. And then Rudy, I did this happen. So Rudy and I are 1 year apart,
Yes.
uh, in terms of our college experience. So I don't know if you were here yet, but there's a place. The freshman dorm had a late night dining hall in the basement of it,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah.
Uh, and they had a mac and cheese there that you could get. They like it came
Oh.
out in like the ice cream scoop, right? Remember?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they, at one point, the school newspaper, the Signal, did a calorie comparison between like KFC mac and cheese and Boston Market mac and cheese and
Yes.
whatever other fast food and T Dubs, and T Dubs had like twice the amount of calories. T
My
Dubs was the name of the
God.
dining hall.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
like it was like 900 calories per scoop or something.
Yeah, I remember there was, I guess at some point while we were there, they started posting nutrition facts for some of the food. And
Oh
there
wow.
were fried chicken wings at like the on campus kind of bar, the Ratskeller.
Oh yes, the
Yeah.
Ratskeller.
And it was like 6 wings. These were deep fried. I think they were breaded. And I remember being like, oh, these are pretty good. I can grab these as a snack if I'm on the go or whatever. They were 1,000 calories for six. A
Wow.
thousand calories for six. So I have
That's
no idea what they were
wow.
doing, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Eric
Yeah.
Easy Cheese in chat, one of former guest last week or
Oh
last
yes.
episode. He said T Dub chicken fingers. Must have been a big fan.
Hmm.
Our Sodexo, the food, when you make something on a mass scale, the quality is up and down. There were the college staples. We had pizzas that were okay. There was, I think,
Yeah.
every weekday around lunchtime they did a whole like Mexican food station. So there were burritos and there were tacos, and that was really neat. And everything was made to order. It was like a Chipotle.
Yeah.
But it was like, and there would always be long lines, so you'd have to wait. But I remember liking everything, and they had an omelet station, which I loved. I would get omelets so frequently. Big fan of the omelet station. Oh, they had like a wok station too with
Oh
Asian
yeah.
food sometimes. So, food. And they would do like theme nights on occasion. I remember like a sushi night. I'm opening a container of pancetta here. They did a decent amount of stuff. It was a decent job, I would say, for what it
Y-
was.
Yeah, definitely. And they would always like I remember around the holidays, right? They would do like a turkey dinner
Oh,
the
sure,
day
yeah.
before Thanksgiving, and they did like a big Christmas festival because there was one dining hall that was a buffet. You paid one fee, and then you could, as long as you were in there, you could just keep eating food.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I was on a meal plan that included free entry into there. If you were a freshman, you
Yes.
had it, or if you were a
Freshman,
freshman
sophomore
RA.
had that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as an
So
RA, oh, an RA, you got that too? Yeah, because you were a freshman RA, so you would go with your
yes,
kids. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think of that with that.
yeah.
Another benefit to being an RA.
Well, it was part of the. I think it was the cheapest meal plan, and as an RA, they paid for your meal plan. So the
Yes.
cheapest meal
All
plan was
right.
to go to that place.
Yeah. This cheese I'm munching on it. Had a little extra. This tastes really nice. It tastes like a cheese you could put out on a cheese plate. Maybe it's not. It's not soup. This is a lesser. So I asked the cheesemonger, and she's like, "Okay, so I have 4 pecorinos. This one is less salty, so it goes better with carbonara if you're making guanciale." And yeah, it is not super super harsh. So
That's good.
true professional, De Bruno cheesemonger. Shout out to you. And she cut it.
Shout
It was
out to you.
amazing. I said half a pound. She cut it, and it was 0.505 pounds. Like one time,
Wow.
bam. immediately.
That's a pro, right? That's the mark of a pro who's just like,
Yeah,
boom.
truly.
I know how much this is exactly. Yeah, wow. You're handling
Really
a
good.
lot of cheese if you can do that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Do I have any mods in chat?
Uh,
I
let's
think I might
see.
have a mod. Keep an eye on chat mods.
Oh,
Um,
yes. It looked like someone was able to delete that message. I don't know if that was
okay, cool.
you or
Yeah, it was me.
someone. All right.
Yeah, Eric, Alex. But yes. So college was fine. The food was fine in college. I don't know that anyone's ever like the food at my college was the best food. You know what I mean?
Oh
Have you ever
yeah.
met someone that's felt that way? Like, like truly, oh yeah, it's all been downhill since college, or no?
No, no, no. I don't. I've I certainly have heard of people who, I think like Loyola in Maryland is supposed to have like
Oh,
really great food, but I don't
okay.
think, I don't, I'll be honest, I don't know if it's possible to make food at a scale for 1,000 or in many cases, many, many more students, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, and have it be super memorable.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I that is always hard. Like I think like even when you go to a wedding, right? It can be hard to
Mm.
make 200 dishes, right? If there's a lot of people there or whatever. So that can be really hard.
And what a transition, James, to one of my next questions.
Ah, excellent.
You are wedded, as we have heard multiple times over this
I
stream.
am.
Your wife is
Yes.
in the chat. You did not have, I don't want to say a traditional wedding, but you did not have like a big ceremony where the two of you stood in front of everybody and a friend
Yeah.
married you or whatever. But instead, you had like a really great, it was like the reception part of the wedding only, which is awesome.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
was in an aquarium
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
breakfast food.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we got married at a steakhouse called Davio's. I think they're like you can find a couple of Davio's in different cities. Um, in Philadelphia, which is actually was very close to DeBruno Brothers at the time. Because
Really?
I
Huh.
remember, yeah. After Bonnie and I went to scope out the place, we went to DeBruno Brothers to just like look around and stuff. Um,
Great place to
uh,
look around. There's so much really neat stuff there if you're a food
it
dork.
really is.
So much,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, so but it was very small. It was just our immediate family. And then we had our first anniversary party. We had like a reception at the New Jersey State Aquarium, New Jersey Adventure
Oh.
Aquarium in Camden. Um, and we wanted it to be kid friendly because we were like, hey, it's going to be at this aquarium. So we want it to be at a time of day that people can take their kids afterwards.
Okay.
And it also just so happens that it is more affordable if you do a morning
How
thing.
about that?
Uh, and so yeah, so we did it there, and because it was like a brunch type thing. That's who they serve brunch food. Now, when you're there at the aquarium, you use their caterer, and their caterer, Rudy, to tie it all back together, is also Sodexo.
What?
So
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that's we really wanted to go. There's a barbecue place in Philly called
Famous
Sweet
Dave's?
Lucy's.
Oh, not Famous Dave's. Okay.
No, yeah, Sweet Lucy's. And we had initially wanted them to come cater, but the aquarium was like, no, you have to use our in-house caterer, and we were like, okay, great, and they did a great job. It was again, I would say it was if college food is a step up from the prison plan, this was a step up from the college plan.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. But yeah, Sodexo,
Um,
they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
yes, for real. Huge contractor for food in the United States. Just a heads up, my microphone might cut out at any time because I thought I charged it beforehand, but I didn't, and it's wireless. So if I stop talking, chat, please let me know that I stopped talking, and I'll change to
Gotcha.
another microphone that probably won't sound as good, but unfortunately that's how we're gonna have to do it. Okay, James, let's get to cooking more, because my water's boiling and I'm afraid to drop my pasta in. I don't know
Yes.
how long things will take.
Okay.
So let's go to the stovetop cam. Stovetop cam, there's my
Stovetop
pan
cam.
on the stove. So what do we do first in this recipe?
So you want to cook the pasta in salted water. Refer to package for cooking time,
Okay,
which
my
I believe you said
water,
was 15 minutes.
my water is boiling. It is
Mhm.
salted. I'm wondering if I
Oh,
should maybe
so
start the
you
other
want
stuff.
to so you want to fry
Fry.
the guanciale in the pan with the. I think you have chicken broth there. Is that right?
I have red wine. I think it says
Red
white
wine.
wine.
Yes,
I'm gonna use a drizzle of red wine, but I'm gonna start.
that should be fine.
I'm gonna start sautéing it beforehand without any wine to start because I want it to render. This is
Great.
so fatty that I'm not gonna add any oil to the pan. I don't think I need to. So I'm just gonna
Yes,
dump.
I agree.
I'm gonna dump that in, and I'm gonna dump in 4 ounces of my pancetta. I have more, but I'm gonna start
Nice.
with. This is about 3/4 pounds of meat.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's a
that's
good.
great.
I think that's a good
Yeah,
amount. It seems like a lot, and I know it's a lot of pasta. It'll be a full pound of pasta that we're making, but this seems like a pretty decent amount.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is my hottest burner. Also, it's the big boy burner. People see, yeah, it's the big ring. So
Look at that.
this should
Amazing.
even on low, this should definitely be enough to get it nice and crisped up. How
Beautiful.
does it say how long to cook it to? Does it say till crispy or anything like that?
Uh, yeah. So all it says is once cooked, approximately 10 minutes. Remove from
Oh,
pan and allow to cool.
10 minutes. Okay, yeah. So this will. Oh wow, this looks really good. It looks really well lit on the camera here.
Yeah,
Nice.
looks. I want to be there. I feel like I could reach out and eat it. Looks great.
Okay, cool. And then also, I think I'm done with almost all my prep, but I have some eggs here that I believe I need to
Yes.
crack. Is that accurate?
Yes. So, essentially, once the pan, right? Like
Yes.
once you're done with the pancetta, you put the eggs and then some pepper and some sparkling water uh
Yes.
in the pan all together to like cool it off, and then you put the pasta in with a cup of the pasta water.
Oh, okay. The eggs
Mhm.
help cool it off, or do I cool it off then put the eggs in? Because I read
Yeah.
this recipe, and when I've done carbonara, you add your eggs and then you stir really quickly because you don't want the eggs to cook. And the recipe
Correct.
says to swirl it with 2 hands while holding the pan in a circular motion. Is that essentially the same thing, or?
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what you're just mimicking there. That is exactly sort of it. So yeah, essentially what you should
Making
do
noise.
is once the guanciale cooks, you can move it off to the side for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I would add the eggs, the pepper, and the water once you have the pasta ready, right?
Okay.
Um, so that's how
Okay.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I scrambling these eggs? Am I
yeah,
what am
you
I
can
doing with my
scramble them
eggs
up.
here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So I'll do that. I'll do the one-handed break. Oh god, that went terribly. Shell everywhere. You try and show off to Twitch, and this is what you get: shell in your eggs.
I mean, I'm impressed. Listen,
Wow. Well, showing off the
I
channel is
I
also
get
very
shell in
important.
my eggs all the time, and I can't crack one handed. So it's.
Oh, okay. Make you too kind, James. Okay, cool. So our pancetta is going. It's really, you can see it bubbling on the stream. That
Oh
fat
yeah,
is
look at that.
really starting to render out. Let me ask you another question. You're a
Sure.
Philadelphia. So you're from South Jersey, born and
Yes.
raised, still down
Yep.
here. True South Jerseyan to your core,
Yes.
which means that your city is the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Is that Philadelphia or Chicago? Chicago's the windy city, right?
Chicago's the windy city. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love.
Okay, great. Yes. Now, Philadelphia, famous for one particular food item, I would say. Famous for a bunch of
Yes.
stuff, but like super famous for one particular food item, yeah?
Yes. Yes. The cheesesteak for sure.
The
Is
cheese steak, yes.
yeah.
The Philly cheese steak. That's the thing everybody talks about. That's the thing everybody loves. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
great
Mm-hmm.
sandwich, okay? we can agree it's a great sandwich.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Great sandwich. Great sandwich.
Thinly sliced ribeye, like frizzled onions, very tasty. Great sandwich. But there's one that you and I prefer over it, I would say. Yeah?
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely, yeah, yeah. The Denix roast pork sandwich with provolone and broccoli rabe is
Yes.
the superior Philadelphia
Yes.
sandwich, and I think a lot of Philadelphians would agree.
Yeah.
Actually,
I actually, the first time I had a roast pork, it was at Tony Luke's, which is kind of known for cheesesteaks.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought it was, but it's like a really sharp provolone cheese. I'm just mixing these eggs here on camera. Really, really, really good. And the broccoli rabe has this nice kind of pepperiness, and it's like kind of got that squishy, crunchy texture. I think it's just so much better. And in fact, who agrees with us, James?
So my wife Bonnie
Oh,
agrees with
okay.
us, and also from Adam Richmond, I think that's
Adam
his name, right?
Richmond, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
From,
He did a like best sandwich in
yes.
America contest, and that's the sandwich that won.
That's the sandwiches one, yeah. Is he
Yeah.
Man versus Food too? Was that his show? I think it
Yes,
was.
that's Man versus Food was his show, and
Yeah.
so and it's I mean it is a brilliant sandwich, and you can find it on a lot of different menus around this area anyway. And it really is I think it's a more it's certainly a more flavorful sandwich than a cheesesteak. And again, that's not to knock the cheesesteak. I love
Yes.
cheesesteak,
Yeah.
but generally cheesesteaks you might get often served with cheese whiz
I
or
hate it.
American cheese,
I
right?
hate
Which
the
are
cheese
like,
whiz. Like, I have
yeah,
some, at the College of New Jersey, there's a lot of people that are South Jersey that are Philadelphia. My friends took me into the city once, and we got cheesesteaks from Pat's or Geno's. Those are the two big famous cheesesteak places. And they're like, oh yeah, you gotta get the whiz. You gotta go whiz wit. That's what you say. You whiz with onions. That's what the wit is. And I'm
yes,
like, this is bad. I don't like the whiz.
yeah,
This whiz can be beaten. That's what Rudy
yeah.
says. I pointed at the
I
camera,
agree,
but
and that's I'm more of an American
yes,
if I'm gonna
same.
go. But I think I mean if we're talking cheese, I think provolone is even superior to
Oh really?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm a
There are
big.
some
I'm a
places where you can get provolone on a cheesesteak, and
yes.
that's just cheese. American cheese is just like a big lump of fat, which is delicious.
Yeah.
But I do think if there's some more flavor there, some more sharpness, some more funk, I prefer that in a cheese, which is why the roast pork sandwich, the roast pork is seasoned really well. The
Yes.
provolone is really good. And like you said, that broccoli rabe is, it's the secret sauce. You
Definitely.
know, yeah. So it's great. Yeah. I highly recommend. There's actually, Rudy, I don't know if you know about this, but in South Jersey, Denix has a
I
branch on
do.
the Black
I do
Horse
know
Pike.
that. I've been meaning
Yeah.
to go. It's in Merchantville, I think. I've been
Yes.
meaning
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love the provolone on the. I'm a big American cheese and the cheesesteak guy personally. It's I don't know something about that weird neon plasticiness. I like it. That's what appeals to me. All right, so
Oh, that's great.
my my guanciale is still pretty fatty. It
Yeah.
hasn't really rendered too great, which I think will be okay. I'm concerned because my pancetta is really which was much smaller diced. It's really
Oh,
coming
sure.
together. I think I'm gonna splash my red wine in too. It just says a splash or something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Just a splash.
just a little red wine to give it some tanginess.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, look at it
Bubbling
go.
right up.
I'm gonna turn off the heat now too for this. See, I'm really nervous to add eggs to this. I feel like they're gonna cook immediately.
Yeah. Well, so what I would do is I'd
I'm
move
gonna
that
drop my
off to the
pasta too.
side and let it
Yeah,
cool for a little bit
yeah,
and get your pasta ready, right?
yeah. Let me move this. Oh man, I don't want to bonk the camera here. Let me find a spot for this and let me move the pasta on over.
Oh, nice.
We're not at multiple cameras on the oven yet. Maybe someday. Get those follows in if you haven't. Sooner I get
that's
the
right. Yeah.
follows, sooner I can
Follow.
start making that money.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I think so follows are good. Plus, you'll get to see more great food content, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Okay, cool. So there's my water. It's about boiling. It's been going for a bit. I'm gonna let it come up to a real rapid boil, and then I'll drop my pasta in, and that'll
Yeah,
be
so that'll give it time then
15.
for the pan to cool, right? And then you
Yes.
can, because basically the pasta comes out and it could go right in that pan with the
Right in
ease
the
of it.
pan, yeah. I'm starting to think I should have used a bigger pan, possibly. It smells incredible. Like, it smells so... And the wine, adding the wine to it, that really brought it to another level.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smell-o-vision. I hope so. Good call, Daleman13. We need smell-o-vision, for real.
Someday,
Twitch, get on that. Where's it coming? Where's the smell-o-vision?
yeah. Do you
All right.
think people want to smell most Twitch streamers?
You make a very good point, sir. You make a very good point. No. The answer is an emphatic no.
The answer is no.
Okay. Pasta. So you gotta watch. Again, I'm using this big boy burner. It gets so hot. You really gotta watch for the boil over when you get pasta in there. I'm also gonna use this guy, getting him out here, showing him on camera. I'm not gonna dump all my pasta water into just a colander in my sink. I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna scoop my pasta directly from this pot into my pan because we want to save the pasta water. Yeah?
Right.
Because some
Yes.
of that pasta water is what we're going to use to kind of make our sauce. It's going to give it like a base that for our sauce. Because otherwise it would just be fat and eggs, which sounds pretty nice, fat
Oh
and
yeah.
eggs, but
But
doesn't make for the best sauce. Yeah, it doesn't make for the best sauce. So,
lovely.
oh shoot, Alexa, set timer 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
There's my sous chef, my helper. Good job, Alexa. Yeah.
What up, Alexa?
What else? What else? What else? What other wonderful questions do I have for James? James.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yes, your wife again, who's getting a lot. Maybe future guest, getting a big, lots of shout outs here. Is a professional food person, right?
Yes, she is. Yes.
She is.
So yeah, my wife last year really started a baking business. So New Jersey was the last state in the union to allow cottage food industries.
Okay.
Which
And explain what
means
that
like
is. Yeah.
it means that you could make food in your house and sell it for profit, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of reasons why that is. Some conspiracy theories about big Italian bakery in New Jersey
Oh yes.
having a strong lobby in the state senate and stuff. But what happened was the pandemic basically kicked the rear into gear. A lot of people lost their jobs, and the New Jersey Assembly was looking at it and was like, "Oh, this is a good way for people to maybe make some income if we can lift this restriction." And so and then it took a while for that to get through and stuff. And my wife was part of, she went to like people's offices and stuff, was part of the lobbying effort to try to make that happen, part of the activism really to make that
Yeah.
happen. um and so she was able to do it. This is something she's wanted to do for a long time. She makes cookies. Her place is called the Bonnie Bake Shop, and if you're in southern New Jersey, you can order from her.
What's the website? Let's put it in chat.
Great.
BonnieBakeShop.com.
It's the BonnieBakeShop.com. Yeah.
The BonnieBakeShop.com. If you're in South Jersey or the greater Philadelphia area, huge recommend. I cannot recommend these cookies. Award-winning cookies, yes? Recently
Yes.
won an award, so deservedly so.
Yeah, so we recently went to a festival, the first sort of outdoor festival that she's ever done. It's a lot of fun to be there and have people like walk up and all that kind of stuff. And then and there was a baking contest that all of the different bakers could enter there, and she won second place.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really cool for her to be able to do that. And yeah, she makes all kinds of different cookies, right? She, in fact, she just updated her menu to make like, seasonal holiday cookies. She likes to test her own recipes. She's just a huge, and she's taken a couple of, classes at like the Philadelphia Restaurant School and stuff like that
Oh,
to.
the Christina Tosi class, right?
Yeah, she took Christina
From Milk
Tosi's
Bar.
online
Yep.
class. Yeah, the
Yeah.
lady who runs Milk Bar. You've probably seen their cakes and Facebook ads and stuff.
Yeah.
And she learned a lot from that. And her cookies, the one thing that she's very passionate about is flavor, right?
Mm.
You see a lot of places that make cookies, and it's all about the appearance of the cookie, right? Can they
Mm-hmm.
make as a party favor or that kind of thing, which
Oh,
is great,
sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's fun and cool. But she's like, can I make a cookie that tastes like a graham cracker pie crust,
Mm-hmm.
right? And is reminiscent of that, or like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or like
Yes.
all that kind of thing. That's her big thing, and so she does that a lot, and it is great. She is really, really good at it. If I can brag about her
Yeah,
for a minute.
absolutely. And you say that obviously the flavors are so there, but her cookies they look great too. She uses those rarely she uses ring molds. They always have height to them. I love her chocolate. She has a triple chocolate chip cookie, which is three kinds, and she does it in a way that all three different kinds of chocolate chips are centered and are like looking at you. You're like, oh, these are the three kinds. They're staring at me. They're looking right at me. She does a lot of other fun shapes. I love the sandwich cookies, look incredible. They're always super uniform and professional. I can't 1,000,000% recommend. People in chat, Delaware. That's my parents. They're huge fans. Alex,
Oh my
as
gosh.
we've done a lot of testing. It's great. But let me ask you,
Yes.
as the husband, and I assume number one tester, how do you deal with eating cookies all the time?
Yeah, so it all depends on what mode things are in the house, right? So
Okay, okay.
the big thing is that like if she's recipe testing, we do have a lot of cookies around because she doesn't want to sell a cookie if she hasn't perfected the recipe yet. But she
Fair.
also doesn't want it to go to waste. So I have two kind of saving graces. The first one, and I don't leave when you hear this chat, is that I don't eat chocolate, right? Um,
Yes.
and a lot of the cookies she makes are chocolate because chocolate is delicious and people love it. And so that means that I am on about half the cookies, I would say, when she's testing them. I'm not going to eat them because I don't eat chocolate. Um, on the other ones, the good thing is that she likes to do, in addition to taste testing, she likes to do timed testing. So it's like, okay, how does this cookie taste fresh out of the
Yes.
oven? How does it taste 10 days later? How does it taste 3 days
I mean,
later,
that
right?
just speaks to the professionalism of her that she takes that into account. Because you're right,
Yes,
you sell someone a cookie, you don't know when they're gonna eat that cookie. So,
exactly. And it's also for her, if it's like, hey, can I make these a day ahead? And often
that's a good
cookies will
point.
taste better the next day. Um,
Yeah, the
so
flavors. Yeah,
yeah,
go
when's
ahead.
the
Sorry.
optimal time to give them to you? How long can you wait? Right. That's all of that is part of it. And so it means she'll say to me, like, you can only eat one of these today, right? Which stops me from eating like 17 cookies a day. It's like, okay, I'll eat one today, and then we can eat one in 3 days. And so yeah, so those are the most helpful things. The other thing is that like we are fortunate enough to live near a lot of family who will go and give cookies to, or friends, or things like that. As Rudy knows, he has been the
Yes, I've
beneficiary
been
of
very
many.
fortunate to be a cookie tester on occasion, and it has always been a huge delight.
It is.
Question from chat from Easy Cheese 89, my buddy Eric. What is your? I mean, obviously, every cookie Bunny makes is your favorite cookie, but
Yeah.
what have been some of your favorite flavors that she's made, either past or presently current selling?
So one of my very favorites is just new on the site now, which is the first recipe she ever made on her own is so it's this graham cracker crust cookie. And if you've ever had a cheesecake or like a lemonade stand pie or a key lime pie, a lot of them are made with this graham cracker crust. And she's made a cookie that tastes like that, and then she puts different icings on to like give you a reminiscent taste of a pie filling. So like she does a cream cheese icing to give you a taste of like a cheesecake cookie, or a like a pumpkin pie flavored icing for like a pumpkin pie taste, right? That's really good. The other one that I really, really love is she makes it's a sandwich cookie that's 2 peanut butter cookies with a raspberry icing in the middle. And that's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich cookie, right?
Ooh.
And that's really, really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I think those were just for the summer, and I don't know that they're still on the
Yeah.
site anymore.
Cookies
So
change as the seasons change, which is also
they
very
do.
exciting as a cooking enthusiast and someone who lives close by. You might be seeing it while we've been talking. I've been kind of the pasta, the starch from the pasta water is causing it to really like bubble up.
Oh, cool.
I'm just coming
Yeah.
over and kind of moving it around with my ladle here. You could use a spoon. I'm using a ladle specifically because I'm going to ladle some of this pasta water into my sauce here. But just keep it down. This is also a good way to keep it moving so stuff doesn't stick. My timer says 2 or a minute and a half. I just tasted it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely not quite. It's a little too loose for al dente, or too hard, excuse me. But it's
Oh,
really
gotcha.
close. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the egg now.
Nice.
I don't feel confident with the swirl, with the two-handed swirl. I'm sorry, I'm not there yet.
Well, so
So,
before the swirl, you're supposed to add the pasta first. So
oh, pasta first. Okay, never mind
yeah,
then. Okay, cool.
so you add the eggs, pepper, and the sparkling water to the pan. And it sounds like you should do the sparkling water first to cool the pan a little bit.
Okay, how much sparkling water is it? I don't have that in front of me.
A half cup.
Half a cup. We can do that.
Yeah.
When you measure things, make sure it's on a flat surface. And you want to put it just above the line. That's what you want to do when you're measuring out
Oh, nice.
liquids. Okay, so sparkling water's going in. We're just
Yeah.
using seltzer from the store. Sparkling
Perfect.
water's in. Cheese was next, you said?
Yes. So then, so then eggs and pepper. Yeah. So it says add the sparkling water, eggs, and pepper to the pan. And then you add pasta. Uh, and then you add. So you add the cheese after mixing in the pasta.
Okay. All right, I'm moving. I'm doing some quick moves around
Nice.
to show the pasta pan because it has been requested. I poured my cheese in and some of it missed. Don't ask. Alexa, stop.
That's all right.
Okay, so let me turn this off. So heat is off entirely for this? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah. So heat is off.
Heat is off. Okay. Mixing in our cheese. How much black pepper did it say?
Great
You,
question. So a pinch.
a pinch. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those, I feel like whenever I see this dish, it's got lots and lots of black pepper dots throughout it. So we'll add
Mm-hmm.
more at the end. Oh, you know what? I don't think I was supposed to grate all the cheese, too. I think some of it was supposed to be a topper. Oh, well.
That's all right. It's gonna be delicious.
Yeah, it's going to be delicious. I've got some Parmigiano, too, if I need to. Okay, so we're grating some black pepper.
Black pepper.
Blacky
There it
peppy.
goes.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, and then
okay.
whenever you're ready with the pasta, you should add that into the pan, and that's when you can mix it all up.
Let me grab one,
Now
see
you
where we
can
are.
do the mixing it in circles, or you could do what I do, which is just I mix it with a spoon.
With stirred around a
Usually,
spoon, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
there's no shame in doing the mixing or in doing the
yeah,
move pan rapidly in a circle with both hands above the
yeah.
flame.
Okay, that's perfectly al dente, so I feel good. Oh, Vegas Lanky in chat. Vegas Lanky.
Vegas
I know
Lanky.
him. Vegas Lanky. Are you familiar with him? Yeah.
I've heard of him. He's a great Philadelphia comedian.
Yeah, improv
Um,
comedian. I hear he's doing a show
Improv
this
comedian.
Friday. Yeah.
That's right.
Um,
Oh yeah, look at that! Holy
yeah,
moly!
just dropping it right on in there.
Wow.
I might have maybe a bigger pan was the move, but that's okay.
It's all right. All the more reason to not do the shake.
Good point. Good point. Okay, so sorry. Order of operations is
So now
egg
that that's
next or pasta water.
so yeah, if you haven't put the egg in, go ahead and put the egg in.
All right, we're doing the egg and we're stirring.
And
What
yeah, what you can do is
vigorously. All right.
you can turn the heat on a little bit.
Okay.
Now that you're adding the egg, and then mix it all up together.
All right. Heat's on. Pasta's in. Eggs going in. Vigorous stirring. Vigorous is what we're going for here. Eggs getting added.
Oh yeah.
This could be more vigorous, but I don't want to splash everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh God.
you got a tight fit in that pan.
Yeah. I have only one person to blame. And the idea is that the egg kind of it coats the pasta and it gives it that kind of like glaze that whoop, pasta down. It kind of gives it that shiny glazy look that
Yeah.
that egg does when you add it to certain things. It's really really nice. Okay, cool. I feel good. I don't think I've cooked the egg. I think it's kind of in there. It's getting that glazy look. I
Yeah.
like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
Very
this looks
creamy,
great.
really creamy.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more black pepper just for the color, for some contrast, because we got a lot of beige right now between the pasta and the eggs and the fat from the pancetta and the guanciale. Okay,
Yeah.
so am I adding some pasta water in now? It seems okay,
Yes,
but
you can add about
what do they recommend
so
in
what they
terms of
say
pasta
is
water?
to uh yeah, it says you can mix in up to 1 cup of the starchy water.
Wow, 1 cup? Okay,
Yeah.
I've got this 1 ounce ladle. We're gonna do that to start.
Yeah.
You know, I've got I got some fresh parsley here. I think I might slice some of that up and top it with the fresh parsley. Just
Oh, that would look
just for
great.
color. Yeah, just for color. That
Yeah,
should
and
be
I don't know.
plenty of liquid. Yeah, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know that you need to add more water than what you have done. That looks
Yeah,
perfect.
it was just like a splash. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the heat off because I don't want it to
Nice.
cook. I've got pasta jumping out of the pan here. It wants to escape. It wants to be eaten, James. It's trying to jump into my
Wants to be
mouth.
eaten. Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's looking great. It's
Yeah.
looking very, very good now.
Okay, cool. Let me plate and let me get some Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to, again, give it some more color. Alex, do you want to come downstairs and try this? That's my other assistant and taster,
Heck
Alex
yeah.
Basso.
So good. He's got a good job.
He's got a good job, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought one of those, like, herb gardens. Let's see, I'm going to try and spin around to show. We're moving here. It's like one of those herb gardens you can grow a bunch of stuff in your, like,
Oh,
it's
look at
got the
that. That's
light and
cool.
stuff. It's, like, been so great. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I'm making a lot of adjustments here, but it's got parsley, it's got 2 kinds of basil, it's got mint, it's got dill. Let me tell you, dill has no chill. The dill is going crazy. I've got to trim the dill all the time. Okay, let me find the parsley. Alex is here waiting patiently. Here, plate. Come around and. All right, fine. No, I didn't say to come on camera, but I want you to plate. All right. Arguing with my brother. Parsley's on here somewhere. James Vamp.
Oh, okay. So one thing you should know about me and Rudy is that we play a lot of games together, um, tabletop role playing games, and Rudy often brings some of the best food. I've eaten many a brisket at a tabletop role playing game from Rudy, delicious, smoked to perfection. I've eaten many a delicious pizza. I love the barbecue chicken pizza, one of my favorites that Rudy makes. So he's the real deal, folks. He learns stuff. He's really good, and I feel very lucky to have a friend who is such a great cook.
All right, cut that out. All right. That's not what I was going for when I said vamp. All right.
I know.
All right.
Well, that's why it was the perfect opportunity for me to do it because you couldn't stop me. Haha.
Okay. So, oh wow, this is looking good.
Oh yeah, look at that.
We'll do a better shot in a second, but let me just plate some. Didn't have a lot of parsley, so we're gonna um, just do a couple sprigs for looks. I'm gonna wipe this plate down a little because I want it to look
All right,
nice.
that's all you need.
Yeah, just the double
Foster's.
sprig, the classic double sprig.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see. I'm switching cameras. Cutting board large. Let me move everything else out of the way. We're gonna hit it with a little bit more fresh black pepper. I know I have a microplane somewhere. Here it is.
Ooh,
I used all my
bellissimo.
pecorino. Yeah. I used my pecorino before, but I'm gonna use some Parmesan Reggiano and just
That'll
for
be good too.
texture and looks.
Look at that.
And then a double sprig of parsley. Ooh la la. How's that reading? Not so great. Not so great. Need new cameras. Whoa!
That that
Here,
looks
bud.
really
Trying to escape. It looks
really
okay. It
good.
looks okay. It looks okay.
I am. Listen, I ate literally moments before I got on this stream.
Drive
I
on
was
over,
eating,
James. This
and
can be yours.
I am ready to devour that. That looks so incredible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
How's that guanciale?
It's funky. It's like a nice funky. The
Mm,
guanciale still have a lot of texture. Ooh, it's really salty, but like good salty, not overwhelming. Yeah, the sauce came out perfectly. In the rigatoni, it adheres so well to the rigatoni.
amazing.
It's really, really good.
That's beautiful.
Eating on camera. Everybody loves to hear someone eating on camera.
Hey, listen, that's
Nom,
part
nom,
of the
nom, 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 nom,
joy
nom.
of a cooking show is you get to watch
Is it?
someone be like, "I made this thing." Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You think people are watching the Pioneer Woman for her acting chops? No, for the genuine moments, Rudy.
Yeah. Wow, James, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Rudy. This
Thank
was
you.
really cool. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing this recipe with me. Definitely going in the portfolio.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think it needs more meat, honestly. I'm getting lots and lots of pancetta and guanciale as I eat this, so
That's perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it looked like what you had in the pan. That seemed like it was definitely enough.
Yeah.
Um,
It,
so
in Italy it might be a little extra fancy, a little extra meaty. But this
that's
was
right.
funny. That if there isn't as much fat too in like Italian guanciale, that makes more sense to me. Because it would be more meaty and less fatty.
Yeah, I don't like what are they doing to their pigs over there? That's what who
More like,
knows?
what are they doing to our pigs over here? Am I right? Am I right?
That's probably true. That is probably true. Yeah, there used to be when I was in college, there was a Daily Show segment called "What Are We Doing to Pigs?" I recommend people check it out. It's great.
Oh, not while eating, I assume. No.
No, not while eating, but it's
Yeah.
about how we made pigs glow in the dark.
Someone's got it for science. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's how we get to the moon, right? First, you make
I
pigs glow.
I
Then,
did want to ask you one more question before we go.
yes,
Just because you're a convention guy, we're both
yes.
convention guys. We go to lots of
Mhm.
conventions. Do you have any tips or tricks for convention eats? When you when you go to a convention, you're always doing so much stuff, especially a gaming convention where there really isn't a lot of downtime between games if you set your schedule a certain way. So, what do you recommend in terms of food consumption at conventions?
Yeah. So I often find that there are like places right near the convention center that get packed, right? So like if you're at Gen Con, right, the food trucks will get swarmed because they're right outside. or the if you're in Philly, the Reading Terminal Market where you can find Denick's and eat a roast pork sandwich. That'll get swamped really fast. But if you're willing to walk like 2 blocks, you can generally find a place that's less swamped, and it's actually going to save you time because there won't be as many people in line there, right?
Yes.
So being willing to go like an extra block or two away from the convention center, I find is often a good way to save time, and you'll usually discover some like usually everything that's close to the convention center uh, is often like big chain or whatever, so you're more likely to find like a hole in the wall place if you go. I'm thinking of, we went to a catacon and ate at a like Thai place once. Do you remember this,
Oh
Rudy?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
And that was really, really fun. And it was like, I would not expect in this place to find, Columbus, Ohio, right? To find like a great Thai place.
Dayton,
Um,
Ohio. Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, yes, Dayton, Ohio, yeah.
I know because I was
Um,
stuck in the Dayton airport for 9 hours, so
oh my
you
gosh,
remember the
what
name
a
of it.
that's like a horrible one act play.
Yeah, yeah. The highlight of the Dayton, Ohio airport, Quiznos. So
Yes,
not a
yes,
lot
exactly.
of not a lot to do when you're stuck there for a long time. But
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, totally.
Planes.
Oh man.
It is what it is.
I, my other recommendation too for
Mm.
cons is that when you do get food, if you can, if you're like, hey, while I'm here, maybe I should grab this bag of chips too, because then I'll have
Yes.
something for in case I am hungry and it's hard to find
Mm.
food. Bring snacks, right? That's
Yeah.
basically what it
Bring
comes down to,
snacks.
is bring
Yeah.
snacks.
One year at Gen Con, we drove, which was okay. But because we were able to drive, I brought like a giant bag of power bars or Cliff bars, just a bunch of that. And it was one of those things where it's like, man, I could really use some calories right now. And it was perfect. Like, just grab a Cliff bar, munch away. It tastes good, gives you energy, lots of
Yeah.
carbs, lots of maybe healthy carbs, but carbs nonetheless. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah. And I mean, I think my final thing is if you can, get some vegetables in you.
Oh,
Uh,
sure. Yeah.
it can be
Yeah.
hard at cons to
Yeah.
find the greenery, especially if you're in Dayton, Ohio. I feel like I remember you and I walking around in Dayton the last day and being like, "Have we eaten anything green since we have gotten here?" So, uh, yeah, that's also those bars, right? Like a Cliff Bar or whatever can give you fiber,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you have to end up grabbing food from the convention center, it's gonna be chicken fingers. It's gonna be like popcorn. It's gonna be a hot dog.
yeah,
So,
hot dog.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
when you can get the chance, try and eat some greenery. Yeah, get some fiber in you, and hydrate.
Exactly.
Drink lots
Yes,
and lots of
hydrate.
water. Yeah,
Hydrate. And if you're going to PAX Unplugged, I
I
do
am.
recommend checking out Denick's, even though it is right there at the convention center and
Yeah,
hard
head
to.
to Nick's. Also, Chinatown, which is a few blocks
Oh
away from the
yeah,
convention
Chinatown's
center.
great.
Yeah, we've been able to get a table at some restaurants in Chinatown during like peak hours immediately because people aren't don't walk that far away. And it's good. It's really nice. Like we've had some great food in Chinatown in
Yeah, we
Philadelphia.
really have.
So check that out. All right, James. Oh my goodness. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being my first guest and recommending an incredible, my first official guest. No shade on the test guests, but a really delicious pasta carbonara, rigatoni carbonara. I love rigatoni. It makes so much sense. I don't think I'm ever going to make spaghetti carbonara anymore. There's no reason. I've got rigatoni carbonara. Ow. So, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Rudy, for having me, because
Yeah.
it was awesome and it was great to see this made in front of my own eyes. You did an amazing job. Thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
You're too kind. Yeah, so we'll be back next week with my friend Julia. She's a streamer. Nerdy_birdie is her stream, and I don't know what I'm making yet. She hasn't chosen, so we have to talk. But this was fantastic. I'm really excited moving forward. Still got some things to squish and figure out, but it should be fun. If you're in my chat and you haven't followed, hey, please give me a follow if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Trying to hit the old affiliate, which needs 50 followers before I can do that. But hey, if you don't want to follow and you just came and had a good time, then that's all I'm really looking to do. Provide a fun and interesting time. So
Hit that follow button. I mean, look, we're at 42. We could do this right now, baby. Let's go to affiliate.
Oh,
We
hit
got
the fit. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But nevertheless, this was great fun, and it's always good to hang with you. And
It's always good to hang with you too, Rudy. Thank
thanks,
you.
buddy. You wanna plug any socials? Plug a possible Kickstarter coming up?
Yeah,
Huh?
actually, that would be great. So I'm at James Introcaso on X. Do we call it X now?
No, we
Twitter.
don't. We call it Twitter.
I'm also that on Blue Sky. And hey, the other thing is the company I work for. If you like role playing games, we're making our own role playing game for heroic medieval fantasy. You can follow it at mcdm.gg/rpg and get notified on December 7th when the backer kit campaign goes live. So should be exciting.
Wait, say it again. mcdm.gg. What?
mcdm.gg/rpg is the
Bam. There it is in the old.
there
chat.
it is. Thank you. Yeah, GG for good game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
So yeah. But this was so cool.
Hey,
I'm very
you're too
impressed with
kind.
your setup. You've got multiple cameras going on. Good job.
Thanks.
I'm very impressed.
Maybe Bonnie can come on in the future, or you can come on and come here, and we can cook together. Maybe.
Ooh,
that might be fun.
Exciting. I could be your Jacques, the Jacques to your Julia Child.
Jacques Pepin?
Yeah.
I mean, he's also pretty high up there, but I guess they would cook together. They would banter.
I'd be more like Mr. Reed Drummond.
Okay.
You're Reed Drummond.
Okay. Or Mr. What is Barefoot Contessa's husband?
Oh, yeah.
David? Is that his name? David? I think it's David.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Does he ever appear, or is he just like mentioned by?
He's mentioned a lot, but I feel like I've seen him come on and he like jokingly wore Jeffrey's his name, yeah.
Jeffrey.
He wore thank you, Bonnie. He wore like a chef's hat and like a big he was like went all out to look like a chef. Which I thought was adorable. And he eats, that's right. My mom is pointing out that he eats all the time. So
listen, I could definitely be your Jeffrey.
all right, we'll make that happen.
All it requires is a chef hat and an appetite. I got that. We're good.
All right. Thank you again so much, James. Thank you, everyone in chat.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.